Miss Gloria, if you can, from a legal standpoint, right? But generally speaking, how has LECOIL navigated some of the contractual and regulatory risks while sustaining upstream business? And I think the key point here is the lessons around complexity of navigating regulatory requirements, as we've heard from Engineer Joseph and from Bolaji and Dapo, talking about partnerships and cross-value chain operations.
So, the thing is, once you mention there's a lawyer in the room, everybody sort of does some adjustments. Even Dapo sort of starts up a little bit. So it's a good morning, everyone, by the way. It's a good thing to be the only woman on a panel like this. If for some reason I should feel compelled to shout girl power,
please do. We need the representation in the industry.
Or bust into a shaky rendition of Beyonce's Who's Got the World, Who Runs the World. People should understand why. Okay, but back to the question. I think for regulatory risk, right, what we did at LECOIL was we acknowledged that it was always going to be there. It doesn't go away. Regulatory risk happens because things are constantly evolving, right? Laws don't change simply because regulators want to change the laws. It's because circumstances have changed and they need to adjust the laws to meet those circumstances. Yeah. And if you want to do business, especially when you're saying you want to take up a larger space in the global industry, you also need to be ready to, meet that condition or that demand. So if it's a possibility that, you do a transaction that may expose you to laws in some region whereby maybe you made a payment and you routed your payments through some strange country and all of a sudden you're subject to those laws, you have to be ready for it. And that was what we acknowledged. So we accepted that we're always going to subject to regulatory risk, and we built that into our system. Mm-hmm. Thankfully, when we started, it was tedious, by the way. When we started, we were subject to all sorts of laws from across 4 different jurisdictions: UK, Cayman, United States, Namibia, and a lot more. So there were tools that we used, and we had a lot of people. It was expensive, but it made it possible for us to do our business peacefully. As far as contractual risk is concerned, stakeholder engagement was very helpful, right? Knowing who we were dealing with, knowing who our customer was, knowing who the counterparty was, and being proactive. We found that was very helpful for the investor. So if your investor sees that, okay, this person kind of anticipates what's coming ahead and isn't firefighting, but is aware that these are the problems that might meet us in front and is doing something to protect the business, the investor is confident. That happened when we had a lot of, we had some issues and we had some litigation. Once we showed our investors that we had several options to meet those issues, they sort of calmed down. So you have to be proactive. It was also helpful when we had a regulator that we could engage with. And we find now that the collaboration is even more than it was back then. So stakeholder engagement, a lot of collaboration with your regulator, a regulator that is willing to have an open door. Mm-hmm. And then also, there are also tools that you can use. Find something, build it into your system. It's not a risk that you can avoid or transfer. You have to accept it and build it in.
Yeah, no, that's useful. You mentioned proactively, so it's not wait till it impacts you.
No. Because it's a lot more expensive if you wait.
Exactly. Bolaji said they hit you when you least expect it, right? So you've got to be proactive, but I think one key point you made there is having a listening regulator that is supportive. Mm-hmm. So challenge accepted, right, engineer?
Wanted to make a comment.
No, so it's my challenge accepted. It's a given. Thank you.